right. If you're just joining us, I said in the group message as well, today we'll just be needing a set of hand weights or something similar like water bottles or cans to use. A floor mat, because our power moves are going to be in the all four position. Always have an option to use the chair for that modified 4-point position. And a small towel or a shirt will work just well, but like a kitchen towel, something that you can hold on to, okay? And we'll go ahead and get started with our warm up first. So go ahead and sit down in your seats. We're gonna scooch forward towards the end, sitting up nice and tall, opening up our feet so we have a nice base. And we're gonna start with some breaths in. So I'm gonna bring my hands up overhead as I take a big breath in, pausing at the top, and exhaling as I bring my arms down, okay? And we'll do 5 here, coming up and down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, we'll do range of motion at our neck. So alternating in between looking up at the ceiling and looking down at the ground. And we'll do 10 total here. So I come up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then looking right and left. So we'll start from that center position, looking over the right shoulder, and then back to that neutral centered position. We'll do 5 on the right and then switch and do 5 on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then switching opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, we're going to do some shoulder shrugs with circles. We'll go backwards first, and then we're going to reverse it and go into that forward position. So we'll do 5 in each direction. Shrugging up and squeezing the shoulder blades as we come back in together. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then reversing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Opening up at the chest, we're going to start with palms facing towards us, and then we're going to open up nice and wide, and then back in. And we'll do 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And then just loosening up the shoulders, we're going to cross and then cross. So the opposite arm is going to be on top and bottom. We'll do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Next, we'll do some seated cat-cow. So on this one, I'm just rounding the spine and then I'm sitting up nice and tall. So I'll show you from that side view. I'm gonna slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time, come down into that rounded position and then coming up and bringing my chest out as I come into that up position. And we'll do 5 here. Coming down and up. 1, down, and up. 2, down, and up. 3, down, up, 4, and down, and up, 5. Next, we're gonna do some flutter wrists. So we're gonna start with one hand, fingers facing up towards the ceiling. Opposite is gonna be down towards the ground. We'll alternate to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Next we'll open up at the hips. We're gonna do our power step out and then back into the center. We'll do 5 on one side and then we'll switch and do 5 on the opposite. So I'm gonna step out and back in. One, out, 2, out, 3, out, 4, and last one, out, and 5, and switching the opposite. So stepping out and in, it's 1, out, 2, out, 3, out, 4, and out, 5. Okay. Next, we're going to do our power ups in that seated position. So I'm going to bring my hands down to my thighs. My chest is going to come down towards the lap as well. I'm going to push up and big, fast, wide arms up at the top. And we'll do 5 here. Coming down, power up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Next we'll do our power rock. So again, power rock is good for that weight shifting component. So I'm going to bring one arm down heavy to one side of my thigh, that same side. It's going to make the other side really light so I can kick it out with my leg and bring my arm up towards the ceiling. My head follows my hand. Then I'm going to come back into that get ready position. My weight switches to the opposite side, the opposite leg and arm comes out. And we'll alternate till 10. So out. Yeah, you're holding that side. And 1, out. Okay, not correctly. 2, out. 3, out. 4, out. 5, out. 6, out. 7, out. 8, out. 9, and last one, out. 10. Good. Next, we're going to do some reaching forward, leaning at the waist. The hands and fingers are going to come wide as we reach out forward in that seated position. When we sit up, we're going to come back into a rowing position. And we'll do 10 total here. So I reach out and up. 1, out. 2, out. 3, out. 4, out. 5, out. 6, out. 7, out. 8, out. 9, out. 10. All right. Next at the ankles, we're gonna alternate in between bringing the heels up off of the ground and then bringing the toes up off the ground. With this one, we'll alternate back and forth until we get to 10. That'll give us 5 in each direction. So I come up onto my toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And next we'll do our opposite arm, opposite leg swing. So I'm gonna march with one leg up, that opposite arm's gonna come up nice and tall, back down and switch sides. And we'll do 10 total here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. All right, go ahead and get a drink of water. We'll go over the exercises for today, okay? All right, so with each exercise, we'll spend a minute in doing that exercise. We'll have 30 seconds before we rotate to the next exercise. We have 2 different circuits. The first circuit consists of 3 exercises. The second circuit consists of 4 exercises. Okay. So for the first set, we're going to do a hip hinge into bringing our arms overhead and pulling down into a W pull. We'll do this with the towel. With the towel, you want to act like you're trying to like pull the towel apart. That's going to keep the muscles in our shoulders really engaged. The next one, we're going to do marching with tapping to our knee or our thigh. And then we'll pair that with stepping out to the side. And then the third one, we're going to do some squats into a heel raise. So we'll go through and I'm going to show you what those look like. I'm going to pan up first so you can see what my upper half of my body is doing. And then lower half. So with the towel, like I said, we want to pull tight. That's going to keep those muscles engaged in the side of the shoulder. That first movement, I'm going to hinge my body forward and then stand up. Arms come up overhead. Then I'm pulling down in front of the body, up and back down. Okay. I'm going to pan down so that you can see. So this is a hip hinge. It's a little bit different than a squat. So my knees do have a slight bend to it, but I'm not going into that seated position like I would with a squat. Okay. When you're doing it right, you should feel a stretch in the back and your hamstring muscles. So that first part of the movement, I'm coming back, sticking my bottom out, standing up tall, then the arms come up and pulling down. Okay. And that's the first movement. For our second movement, if we need to, we can have a chair close by and help out with that balance part of it. But we are going to march, bringing that opposite hand to the leg. So I'm going to touch down, touch down. We'll do 4 times. So that's 3, 4. And then we're going to power step out to the side, power step out to the opposite side, and then repeat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I step out, in, out, in. Okay, so that's the second exercise. The third one is going to be a squat to a heel raise. So again, I can have the chair here if I need to. Now I am going into that squatted position. So instead of just having that little movement in my hips, I'm going to bend at the knees, coming down as I stand up, coming up onto my toes. Okay, so that's the third movement. And like I said, this is the first circuit. We'll repeat it twice. So we'll take off here in about 10 seconds and get our towels ready. We're starting with that hip hinge into bringing it up over our head, pulling down into that W pull, okay? And taking off. Okay, so hinging down, standing up, arms come up, pulling down in front of the chest, pushing back up, and then back down, and then sticking the hips back, up, down, up, down. Okay. And we're looking to get that tall posture, feeling that stretch in through our lat muscles and into the back of our hips with that hip hinge into the hamstring muscles. Good, looks good, everybody. More than halfway there. Good, last 10 seconds. Good, all right. So getting ready for that next one. Again, it's gonna be those marches with us tapping and then pairing that with that power step. So again, I can put the chair in front of me if I need to help me out with that balance component as I'm stepping, okay? And we take off in about 10 seconds here. Good. So tapping, opposite arm is coming to that opposite knee or thigh. Oh, and look at, I'm distracted. We were only supposed to do 4 and then stepping out. I'm sorry, that's my fault. So do 1, 2, 3, 4, and step to the side, step to the side. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, step to the side, step to the side. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, step to the side and to the side. Good. Last 10 seconds. 2, 3, 4, step to the side and to the side. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, step and stop. Good. And 30 seconds and we take off with that next one. So now we're going into those squats. So before we were just doing a hip hinge, sticking our hips back. Now we're have more of that bend at our knees. So the squat's going to be paired with that heel raise. We have about 10 seconds and we'll take off. Good, starting, so squatting down, standing up onto the toes and repeat. Good, you guys look so good. And again, we can have that chair as needed to help with that balance component. Good, halfway there. Good. Last 10 seconds. All right. Go ahead and get a drink of water. We're gonna start the series over at the top. We'll do the hip hinge with the shoulders coming up overhead. And we'll take off in about 30 more seconds. Good, 10 seconds. So again, we have now just that hip sticking backwards, coming up, over, into the W. Okay? And starting, coming back, up tall, arms come overhead, pulling down into that W pull, up again, back down. Good. Good, halfway there. Last 10 seconds. All right. And we're getting ready for that next one. Again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're gonna power step to the side, power step to the side. Okay, we have about 15 seconds before we take off. Good. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Step in right, together, left, together, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, together, left, together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and stepping out. And stepping out. Halfway there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. And out. 1, 2, 3, 4, out, in, out, in. 1, 2, 3, 4, stepping out and in. Good. All right, take a break. And we have 30 seconds. The next one up is going to be those squats into the heel raises. We take off in about 10 seconds. So now going into that squatted position, standing up tall and up onto the toes. Good. Halfway there. Looks good, everyone. Last 10 seconds. All right. Go ahead and get a drink. In about 30 seconds, we'll go over we'll talk about what the next set of exercises look like. So just about everybody back. So the next circuit of exercises, we have 4 exercises. They're going to be down on the ground into a half kneeling position. If you're not able to get up and down from the ground, you can do it in standing as well. It may feel a little bit more challenging in that standing position. When we're in half kneeling, it's a good position for us to work on balance because we're a lot closer to the ground. So if something were to happen, it's a safer position for us to do more challenging exercises. Okay. So the first one, we are going to start in that half kneeling position. So one knee's up, one knee's down, and we're just going to alternate stretching that hip flexor muscle on the opposite side. So with the chair to help me out, I'm going to kind of lean, feel a stretch, come back, and I'll switch sides. So then I get that stretch on the opposite side. So this is the first one we're going to do. You can do it in that standing position as well. From here, I just do my lunges out to the side, or in a more tall position, same thing. So I step out to the side, I feel that lunge, and then I can step to the opposite side. Okay. Then we are going to do some rotations. So we're going to do 2 circuits. So whichever knee is down for the first round, we'll switch it and do the opposite. But this one I can have my weight. I'm going to hold it towards my chest. I'm going to turn on one side, back, turn to that opposite side. Okay. And then we're going to do our chops. So with this one, I'm going to start on one shoulder and I'm going to chop down and then back. If I want to make it a little bit more challenging, my head can follow my hand as it's moving as well. And then for the last one, we're going to do some hip hinges with the press. So I'm going to come down, sitting back towards my heels, and then I'm going to come up, squeezing the buttocks muscles, pushing my arms out at the top. So coming back and out. So we already talked about that first one in a standing position. The next one in standing, I would just use my chair in like a stride stance or lunge position with that rotation. So I can have it here to help me. And then I'm just going to rotate and rotate. My chops, that same thing. And for my hip hinge, so you can come out, up, press. So that would be the variation if we're doing the standing position. Otherwise, join me on the ground. And starting at the top, we'll do our stretch. So either standing and using the chair to help stretch those muscles, alternating forward, or in the half kneeling position on the ground. And let's take off in 10. Okay. So lunge forward and back and opposite side. Good. This also helps with that weight shifting component as well, right? I got to shift my leg to one side in order to bring the other leg up. More than halfway there. Good. And last 10 seconds. Good. And we're gonna keep one leg up. And then I'm gonna do my twists. So either in that standing position with one leg slightly in front, or in the half kneeling position on the ground. If you want a little bit challenging, you can extend the arms. That'll give you a longer lever so that gravity is working more against you. So rotate and rotate. Good. Having to use those core muscles and our hippos, glute muscles in order to stabilize. And halfway there. Last 10 seconds. All right. And 30 seconds will go. We'll stay still with that same leg up. We're gonna head into our chop. So we'll start on one shoulder, just like we're chopping wood, down towards that opposite side hip. And like I said, if we watch and have our eyes follow our hands, it should feel a little bit more challenging. Okay. In about 10 more seconds, we take off. Good. Chopping down. Good. And halfway there. Last 10 seconds. All right. And the next one that we have is the hip hinge with the press. So we're gonna sit back towards our heels as we come up, pushing the weight out in front of us, coming back. Okay. And we take off in 10 seconds. Good. Sitting back, coming up at the top, squeezing the buttocks muscles as well. So this position here helps with our sit to stands. It's that same sort of movement that we have at the top when we're standing up from a chair. Good. More than halfway there. Last 10 seconds. Good. All right, made it. We'll take a small break and we'll start at the top. So starting with those stretches for our hip flexor muscles, so lunging forward, alternating. And we'll take off in about 30 seconds. Good, about 10 more seconds. So either those standing lunges to feel the stretch in the front of our hip, or joining me at the ground here, and we're alternating. Good. And halfway there. Looks good. We have 10 more seconds. Good, so 30 seconds. Whatever leg was in front, if you're in the standing position, we'll switch the legs. Same thing in that kneeling position. And we'll do our trunk rotations next. Okay, so either in that standing position, more in like a stride stance, a walking stance, or in that kneeling position. And we take off in 10. Good, so rotating towards that right and left side. Looks good. And halfway there. Good, last 10 seconds. Good. Next, we're gonna head into our chops. So same thing in that walking stance, you're gonna start from one shoulder and go towards that opposite side hip, okay? And we have about 10 more seconds before we start. And starting. Looks good. Halfway there. Last 10 seconds. All right. And about 30 seconds, and then we'll take off. We have that hip hinge, so sitting back towards our heels, sitting up tall and pressing out. And again, in that standing position, same thing, sticking the bottom out, standing up, pressing out. And we take off in about 10 seconds. All right. Starting. Sitting back, up, squeezing the buttocks muscles, pressing out. Good. More than halfway there. Last 10 seconds. All right. Good job, everybody. Go ahead and get a drink of water. In about 30 seconds, we'll go over our power move series for today. Good. So today the power moves are in that all four positions. So on our hands and knees, we can always do it in a modified position with the chair to help us out, or also we can do it in the seated position. Those moves that we do in the warm-up are all part of our power series. So we do our power up, our power step, our power rock. The only one that we don't do is the power twist. I'm going to go through and I'll show you what they look like here first on the ground, and then I'll show you the modifications with the chair. So the first one, our power up. So we're starting down. We want to have our wrists underneath our shoulders, our knee is underneath our hips. I'm going to come down towards my mat and pushing up big and wide, and that's my power up. Good. With my power rock, now my hands are going to be slightly in front of where my shoulders are because I'm going to rock back. Feel that stretch, and then I rock forward, and if I can, I drop my hips. Good, so from the side, I'm rocking back, and then dropping my hips at that top if I can. And that's my power rock. My power twist, I'm gonna take one hand, and I'm gonna thread it in between that hole that is being created by my opposite side arm and my leg. So I'm gonna come under, threading that arm through, and then up and twisting up. So with this one, we'll do left and right. Good. And then the power step, I'm either just stepping to the side. If you want to, you can come all the way up with our power step. So those are our four movements in that all four position on the ground. We can use a chair to modify it. So I can either come to the front of the chair or I can come to the back of the chair. But that first one, my power up, I'm gonna come down and power up. So that's my power up position, my power rock, rocking back, rocking forward. So that will be my power rock, my power twist, rocking down and up on each side. And my power step. I can come up if I want to in that power step with this one, just like I did with that 4-point position. So that's the modified positions with the chair. As always, you have the option to do it in that seated position. We did them in the warm up. So power up, power rock, power twist. So I'm turning the whole body, and then that power step. Okay. We'll do 10 repetitions of each for our step and for our twist. We're going to alternate until we get to 10, so 5 on each side. And then at the end, we'll put it together into a flow. All right. So we will start with that power up first. All right, coming down and power up. 1, power up. 2, power up. 3, power up. 4, good. And 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. We have the power rock up next. And I'm going to rock back. And then I bring my hips forward. 1 and back. And 2 and back. 3 and back. And 4 and back. 5 back. 6 and back. 7, 8, 2 more. 9, and last one. 10. Okay, next we're gonna do our twist. So I start with that right arm. I'm gonna thread it in between my left side, arm and body, and coming up. That's 1, and switching sides, through and up. 2, and my head follows my hand, coming through. 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Last one I have is my power step, okay? So either stepping to the side with your hands or coming all the way up with the chair or in that 4-point position. So I step, power, step, and opposite side, 2, 3, good, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. The last one we'll do is we'll link them all together into a power flow. And that just means that we're going in succession from one move to the other. This can help with like the coordination. So we start with that power up. I'm going to show you first, and then we'll do 5 repetitions after. So that power up, so coming down, power up, and straight into our power rock. Forward and back, good. Into our power twist with the right side, with the left side, good. And into the power step, good. So that is our flow, okay? And we'll do 5 more repetitions, okay? So starting at the top with that power up, down and power up. Good, power rocks next, back and forward and into our twist. Twist and opposite side. Twist into our step. Good. And our step. Good, that's the first rep. We got 4 more to go. Coming down into our power up. Good. Our rock. Back and forward. And now we're twisting. Good, each side twist. Good, and stepping. Good. Good, 3 more. Down into our power up. Good, into our power rock. Back. And forward. Into our power twist. And opposite side. And stepping. Step. Good, 2 more. Power up. Good. Into our rock. Back. And forward. Into our twist. And twist. Good. Step. Last one. Into our power up. Good. Our power rock. Back. Forward. We're twisting. Under. Up. Opposite side. Under. Up. Into our step. Good. Last one. Whew. All right, all set. All we have left is cool down. Get a drink of water. And in a moment, we'll start in a seated position to do our stretches. When you can, join me in your chairs. So we'll start first with stretching those muscles in our upper shoulder and neck. I'm going to anchor my right hand by holding it underneath on my chair. I'm going to bring my left ear towards my left shoulder. And if you'd like to, using that same side hand that you're leaning towards, you can give a little overpressure. This just should feel like a good moderate stretch. Okay. And opposite side, so now I'm going to anchor that left arm on my chair that keeps the shoulder from shrugging up so I can stretch those muscles there. Opposite side ears coming towards my right shoulder, and I can use my right hand to give some overpressure. Next, we're going to stretch the back of our shoulder. So I'm going to have you bring the right arm across your body. With the left arm, you're going to hug it into your body just above where your elbow is. We can do some wrist circles here. Reversing those circles. Good, and switching sides. So now my left arm's going to come across my body. I'm going to use my right arm to hug it into myself just above where my elbow is, and I do my wrist circles there. Reversing the circles. And we're going to bring our right leg out so that it's all the way straight on the ground. And we want to make sure that there's no bend at the knee when we do this one. And even if we start to bend forward and we notice that the knee starts to bend, that means that we've gone too far forward in that leaning position. And reaching down towards the toes. So now you should be feeling that stretch in the back of the thigh. And we'll switch sides. So the opposite leg comes all the way out straight in front of us. And then I'm going to reach down towards my toes, trying to keep that knee straight so that I feel a stretch in the back of my thigh. Good. Next, we'll hug our knee in towards our chest. And again, if it's too painful, if it's putting too much pressure on your knee, you can hug in the back of the thigh here and pull it in. So we should be feeling a stretch in the back of the hip. And just like we did with the wrists, we'll do some ankle circles here. And we'll reverse those circles. Good, and we'll switch sides. And reversing the circles. All right, and last one, we'll end just with our butterfly stretch, okay? So with this one, I'm gonna have you interlace our fingers. We're gonna gently just place it on the back of our neck. We're gonna fold at our trunk, rounding our spine, bringing the elbows in together, exhaling our breath. And then as I sit up nice and tall, I'm gonna take a breath in and try to pull those elbows apart. Good, and exhaling as we round. And breath in. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. All right. That's all I have for you guys today.